theory on why episode 9 is called The Rise of Skywalker and how Palpatine is involved somehow. If you're going to enjoy, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell, and share this video. So leading you up to my thoughts about this theory and how I came across it in the first place, we know that Palpatine serves a major role in episode 9 and is already dead. We know he shares a major role because not only is his laugh a major theme of the trailer, but also afterwards Ian McDiarmid actually stood up on stage to say roll it again. And if he was some minor cameo, then that would never have happened, and I don't think J.J. Abrams would have ever done that to us, just, put a tiny cameo, pretended it was something like big when it actually wasn't. It has also been confirmed that Palpatine is dead before episode 9, and Ian McDiarmid himself has teased that we won't actually really see Palpatine in the movie episode 9. And that obviously leads me to the conclusions that is the effects, and he obviously is controlling stuff post-mortem, which obviously means Force Ghost. And we have already seen examples of very powerful Force Ghosts, particularly connected to places or objects with which they were closely attached. For example, Darth Bane in the Clone Wars TV show being strongly connected to the old Sith temple. And we can see the parallel here with, obviously, Palpatine being connected to the Death Star 2, or a certain region of it anyway, which has crashed on the planet we see in the trailer. But most of that you guys should probably already know. Here comes the interesting things. So then I started thinking, right, so what do we need to solve this mystery, if you can call it a mystery, whatever. What we actually need to know is the main character, who has to be a Skywalker, and we also need to know what effect Palpatine has. And then the other thing that stood out to me is the fact that Snoke, obviously he was the main villain and he died really suddenly, and the things that he was doing and saying leads me to think that Palpatine was in some way controlling Snoke, be it directly possessing him, which I think is slightly unlikely, but just generally influencing him, or actually commanding him. So Snoke actually was doing the bidding of Emperor Palpatine. And that would actually explain Snoke's really short death, is that he wasn't the main villain. There was someone else behind him. And I really don't think Rian Johnson, even if The Last Jedi was awful, really would have gone that far down to just kill off a major villain just like that if there wasn't a reason. And I think the reason is we'll discover that Palpatine was running the threads all along, and he was trying to do to Rey what he had done with Anakin, which was to turn him to the dark side and create a whole new empire. And this is also evident in the way that Snoke belittles Kylo Ren, because Palpatine behind that knows that Kylo Ren will be killed off. He's not important. Rey is the one who has the most power and should become his apprentice. And obviously that leads me to the conclusion that, right, so he didn't just find these random people who are very strong in the Force like Rey and Anakin, Rey being the one who can pick up a lightsaber without any training and absolutely melt villains. So really, that leads me to one conclusion, and the conclusion is that Palpatine in some way induced the creation of Anakin. So Palpatine was Anakin's father and Rey's. And whether that be directly his father with Shmi and then she ends up lying to Qui-Gon Jinn, or he actually created both of them through the Force or some other means, my theory is that Palpatine actually managed to induce the creation of Anakin and then seduce him to the dark side so that he can have his empire, and once his empire falls after Anakin turns on him, he wishes to come back from the dead, or not literally come back from the dead, but return to what he had originally planned, which was an empire to control all with him at the top. And obviously he tries to do that again with Rey, and using Snoke as a pawn in the game to help him move further towards getting there, at which point he would induce Rey to the dark side and then have her do his bidding and becoming effectively the Emperor of the First Order, which would then spread throughout the galaxy and he would be happily ever after, or whatever you want to call it. And the reason I'm backing this theory, in spite of how ridiculous it is because it solves a lot of problems. It solves the problem of Rey's parents, Palpatine in episode 9, it solves Snoke's death, and it solves the name itself, The Rise of Skywalker. Because here's where it gets good. I think both Anakin and Rey are Skywalkers because both of their fathers, in inverted commas, not sure whether they're actually their fathers, but regardless, Palpatine was the original Skywalker. Palpatine came up with the name Skywalker. He was the first one. He was the most powerful there. And Rise of Skywalker is actually addressing a villain, Emperor Palpatine. And maybe we'll end the entire saga with a tragedy, or more likely Palpatine will go all the way. He'll do everything, and then, epic hero comeback. Rey goes, no, I'm not going to fall to the dark side, and then she kills him, or something predictable like that. But regardless, I think that's a pretty well-founded theory and certainly feasible, although I'm not sure whether it will actually turn out in episode 9. I'm pretty sure J.J. Abrams is a good enough director to fool a few of us, me included, so take it with a grain of salt. But I just wanted to share that with you. I think that's going to wrap up that video. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more content like this, and share the video. Bye.